When it first came out, I only watched a couple of episodes, but recently, since the new season came out, everybody's just been going absolutely crazy on season 3, so I just decided to blitz season 1 and 2 of Discovery of Witches, and it's just incredible. As always, guys, if you already haven't, please like and subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. I'm also on Twitter and TikTok, so if you're on any of those platforms, please hook me up. I'm just going to try to cover all of the thoughts that I had for season 1 and 2. I've yet to start season 3, and I really can't wait to watch it. I'll probably start it tonight and then work my way over the weekend and probably do another review about it. But I think now it's just going to be probably a spoiler review about things that I really enjoyed about the first and second season. And again, if you've not watched it, go watch it. It's on Amazon Prime, and then come straight back here and then we'll talk more about it. Or I'll listen to your comments and then we'll just take it from there. Like a lot of shows, I think from the start of season 1 it was quite a slow burner. Thinking back to when I first originally started watching season 1 when they first came out, I did find it a little bit difficult kind of getting into it, which is quite surprising because I really do like supernatural witches, that kind of thing. The whole fact that they brought vampires into this whole universe is kind of cool, but I think at the time, it was all about, True Blood and obviously Twilight. I think the Twilight movies were just about finished, but I was really into True Blood, and I can't tell you the times how many times I've rewatched it. I just absolutely adore True Blood. And plus there was a lot of other shows that were really good at that point. Whereas watching this, it was very tame, almost like it wasn't really like Lord of the Rings, but it had that kind of vibe to it. And obviously it was filmed in the UK, London, which was quite interesting to watch because you even had scenes in season 2 about what it looked like in the 15th century, which I'll get later on into that because that's obviously season 2. But season 1, really enjoyed. Obviously it was kind of more of a thing of just getting to know the characters, Diana and Matthew, and I think they were really good characters and actors as well. Like I remember Teresa Palmer, I first recognised her from watching her in The Grudge. I'm sure she's been in other things as well, but I thought she was really good in this. I was really surprised, considering I don't really know that much about her. And obviously Matthew Good, he was in, what was the film? He was in The Watchmen, and he looked just so much younger as well. Like I remember him from The Watchmen. And again, I don't really know that much about him, but it was quite refreshing to see new characters I don't know that much about. Thinking back about season 1, for me, it was almost loosely based around this book that they were trying to find it, and it's obviously about Diana trying to find herself. She's got these powers that she doesn't really understand. She's got all these witches around her trying to find out what she really is or who she really is. We know that her parents have died. There's obviously a lot more to it in season 2, which I'll try not to kind of get into, at least not yet anyway. But at this point, we only know that the witches are trying to find this book because they feel like there's a way in the book that they can actually eradicate vampires. If they were made, then they can be unmade, as quoted by one of the characters. But it's almost kind of awakened something in the vampire community as well, that when this power kind of awoken in Diana, suddenly the vampires were alerted, especially with Matthew. I didn't quite grasp or understand his motives. I was kind of thinking back what Bill was like with Suki in True Blood, like he was only there to kind of find out what she is and kind of use her to his benefit, and I kind of got the feeling maybe that's the way it was going to go, but I was wrong. Well, I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I've obviously not seen season 3 yet, so who knows what could happen. But I love the fact that they have this relationship together. They kind of got very close, and he wants to do everything he can possible to find out what he can do to help her discover who she is. And then we obviously find out that she was spellbound. And I think that's, again, later on in season 2, which we will get more into that in a bit. I do like this whole rivalry that the vampires and the witches have kind of got going on with each other. For years, they've tried to coexist, but the vampires have broken this truce that they were talking about in the first season. I can't really remember. This is definitely a season I will have to watch again because there is a lot of information that you have to really retain. But they understand that Diana's the only one that's been able to access this book of life, and they do have to track her down in order to find it, and that's what she's trying to do. She's trying to find it because she's trying to find out who she is, what her powers mean, and there's a lot of witches that are very curious about her as well, because they think that there's some sort of ultimate power that lives inside of her that she needs to awake. And, you know, this is what she's trying to do in season 2. She's trying to find out who she is and to unlock her powers. And it is a journey of discovery, and I really like that in this show. However, season 2 just absolutely blew me away. I love the fact that they travelled back in time to the 15th century in London, and just the detail, the architecture, and just seeing London, coming from someone that's lived in London for about 7 or 8 years, you know, I mean, it was just incredible just seeing like the landscape. It's probably not obviously fit to scale, but it was just kind of cool. Like, they were living in that time of Elizabeth I, and, you know, they get to meet her, they got to meet all these other different characters, and, you know, Matthew's family as well, the family that he's obviously not seen in such a long time, because some of them have passed away. But it was just such a cool way the story just kind of went into. You know, they're still obviously trying to find this book, and through most of the season, it was all about Diana unlocking her powers, and just some of the effects in this was just incredible. Like, I love the whole kind of scene where the witches are trying to help her unlock and understand what her magic can actually do. And I love the way that, you know, she's training, the other witches are trying to help her, and, you know, it's almost like she's found this community of friends that can kind of guide her and help her. You obviously have Matthew trying his best to kind of do the same and trying to find out what's actually going on and trying to help her find this book. And they get married as well. I mean, I didn't really expect that. I think for a lot of people that have watched this when it started onwards, you know, there's obviously that time where they can kind of rewatch and kind of think about what the story actually means and what actually goes on. But for me, I've just completely gone through it, like binged the whole 2 seasons. So for me, it just felt quite quick, and I'm sure that didn't feel like that for anybody else, but for me, it kind of did. But no, I'm glad they got married. Nice little ceremony. But one thing I will say is that scene where it kind of made me really emotional as well, actually, is the scene where Matthew is speaking to Queen Elizabeth. Pretty much closer to the end of the season, because with Queen Elizabeth, she just wants to make sure that England will survive when she's gone. And she is looking for this book, and she thinks that the Philosopher's Stone is in there as well, which will make her obviously live forever. I don't know why one of the vampires just doesn't turn her, but I guess she really doesn't want to do that. I think she kind of despises the vampires, you know. I think she understands it. And it's interesting how in that time that they were around openly at that point. But no, I just thought that scene was really, really moving, because she did find out that he was obviously from the future. He was able to tell her, you know, you're pretty much going to be everything that you want to be. You know, you're a well-respected historical queen of the past. You know, everybody knows your name. The kids know your name. And I think within that, you could just feel a sense of relief for her. Like, that's all she ever wanted to hear, is the fact that her future, her legacy was going to be remembered. But no, I think it was a really touching scene. And the acting as well. I mean, Queen Elizabeth, like, she was just standing there so proud and mighty, and you just knew that sense of relief in her. You could see it in her eyes, you know, and I think that's what everybody would want to hear, knowing that you have this legacy and everybody just knows your name. And I think it was just such a great scene. It's definitely a season I would definitely watch again for sure. I think at this point it's probably difficult to rate them separately, because it's still an ongoing story. You know, we've got season 3, which I clearly haven't even seen yet. So I think from my thoughts both about season 1 and 2, I'd probably rate this an 8 out of 10. It is quite information heavy. Partly I do enjoy watching all the effects and the props. The sets was just incredible to watch. Acting was amazing. So yeah, I'd probably give this an 8 out of 10, definitely. So anyway, guys, Discovery of Witches season 1 or 2, what did you think? Leave your comments below, let me know. Please turn on notifications and please subscribe to the channel. Cheers, guys, take care, bye.